in extreme pain as my tears fell to my pillow in vain. I say vain because no matter how hard I cried, the pain would not subside. These are just memories of many nights dealing with sickle cell. Sickle cell is a hereditary form of anemic in which the red blood cells become sickle shaped like a crescent, or what I like to call banana shaped, and are less able to carry oxygen. This may not affect you directly, but it is nice to understand the effect of how this condition on someone. This way you can better understand what it is they are going through and maybe even be able to lend a helping hand. The subject is a touchy topic because it is so close to me, and I would love for people to be informed about this disease that is never talked about but is as deadly as having cancer. I grew up with this disease of sickle cell beta thalassemia. It was not easy being a child, not understanding what is going on or why I'm in and out of the hospital. I'm going to explain what sickle cell disease is, how a person is diagnosed with it, and how I live a normal life. Let's get into what sickle cell is about. Let's see what sickle cell consists of. Like I explained previously, sickle cell deals with the blood cells and how it changes the shape of some of your red blood cells into sickle cell, sometimes causing extreme pain, among other symptoms causing those affected by it to be hospitalized due to the pain. Ashton Cook states that sickle cell disease is a group of disorders that affects hemoglobin. Growing up, I always remember going in and out of the hospital and riding in ambulances due to me not feeling well or having an elevated temperature. I always felt like there was something wrong with me, but I could never pinpoint what it was because I was so young. At a low point in my life, I was a teenager and the pain got worse. And the day and that day I could not bear the pain. I told my mom I wish I was never born. So she said to me, "You know what, Tamara, I understand what you are going through, but but you have to understand, but you have to remember there is someone out there going through something way worse." I thought to myself, nothing could be worse. Then I sat and really thought about it. So from that point on, I educated myself and the others around me. Since I have learned so much and became more consistent of how sickle cell works, I have become more determined than ever to not let it define nor defeat me. I would love to enlighten you on how a person could be diagnosed with sickle cell disease. There are many ways to there are many ways to be diagnosed with sickle cell, and here they are. When diagnosed with sickle cell, it is a known fact that the person has gotten it from a parent, but having sickle cell beta thalassemia, that person will receive one gene, which is the trait, from one parent, and the beta thalassemia gene from the other parent. Ellen Gene knowledge that two genes or sickle cell blood cells must be inherited from one parent in order to have the disease. Due to the research I did while being a preteen that my mother made me do about my condition, turned out to be very educational. I was given a binder from my hematology doctor, and that was filled out with pages upon pages of information about what sickle cell is, how I was born with it, and so much more. I grew up having sickle cell beta thalassemia. It was the worst growing up and going through what I did, but it made me who I am today. I feel like I have become a much stronger person that I could have imagined by learning to face life hurtless head on. Because of this condition, I feel like I am way harder on myself than the normal person, and I push myself till I cannot be pushed anymore. Lastly, I would love to explain to you how I live how I live my life while having this troublesome disease. Even though I live the Even though I live with the disease, I am still able to live a normal life. Sickle cell disease is difficult for the smaller children, but it's especially hard for a teenager because of the social issues terms go through, said Jane Versace. a retired social worker who passed 12 years working with sickle cell disease patients at a country USC medical center. I missed I missed school due to my health, but I did not have a social issue because I never told any of my friends growing up until my mom kind of made me. Richard Lewis claims that as an age with image and acceptance by peers mean everything, many teenagers and some younger children with sickle cell disease feel like oddies. As many of them see it, they can have been cheated with a life in which they couldn't participate in athletics like their peers. I was never cheated because I played soccer, basketball, and I was even a cheerleader. Being young, I was embarrassed about having the disease. I felt like people could put me in a box, in a dis, disabled box, and I did not want to be considered defeated. I never wanted the disease to define me, so I did my best to live a normal life, just as the other children. Growing up, I hated water no matter what my mom did to get me to drink it because it was nasty. Now that I'm older, I understand that water is extremely important, especially since I have sickle cell and what I drink majority of the time and dresses sometimes on 100% juice. I live a normal life with little worries about my health because I take care of myself. I hope you have a better understanding of what this disease is and the cause and effect it has on people in which the disease and their
Here's a
families.
powerful quote I would
Here's
love
a
to leave
powerful
you with.
quote. Aim with a positive attitude, inherit stubborn nature. I keep my mind focused and my life moving forward. I stop to rest, pout, and even cry sometimes, but always I get back up. Life is giving me this challenge, and I will plow through it out of breath, with my heart racing if I have to. By Amy B. Strummer. Thank you.